It is the final week of the NFL regular season. Let's make our confidence picks right now. And well, welcome back to New York Sports WickerMedia. I'm WatchUK99. Thank you, as always, for taking the time to watch these videos. So every week during the regular season, we have been making our picks. We don't pick against the spread, we pick winners. And we have been doing our best to not only pick every winner, but to figure out who has the best chance of winning, making our confidence picks, placing point ratings on every single game. But you know what they say, the toughest weeks to pick are week 1 and now week 18, the first and last weeks of the regular season. What team is going to be playing their starters? Who has something to play for and who can actually thrive in that circumstance? Who wants to win a meaningless game more? These are the things that you have to really think about and analyze and take into effect. But before we make those picks, let's take a quick look at Week 17. For the second straight week, we had a 12-4 record, 107 points total. And for the season, we have 161 wins to 95 losses. That's 1,407 points. Continuing to make that innocent climb in the standings, now at the 95.9 percentile amongst all players on the ESPN website. So while we have a little bit lower percentage of games right than we had last year, our percentage mark overall is looking really, really good. All right, so let's get started. Let's make these picks. So we got 16 games to call, and I got to tell you, there's very few where I feel very confident in my picks. But there is one game I am supremely confident in, the NFC East showdown between the Dallas Cowboys and the Washington Commandskins. We know Ron Rivera is on his way out in D.C. They have lost 7 straight games. Sam Howell will start at quarterback. He has thrown 10 interceptions and 3 touchdowns in his last 6 games. I can't really say I'm inspired by this. Likewise, I don't think his players have that final rally left in them. Give me Dallas, and give Dallas the NFC Eastern Division Championship. My number 15 game is the Minnesota Vikings at the Detroit Lions. I am reporting my pick for this game. Hopefully the referees will acknowledge it. But Minnesota is a mess at quarterback. It'll be Nick Mullins with Josh Dobbs backing him up. They are technically alive for the playoffs, but they have about a 3% chance of making it. They need help and about 5-6 other things to happen for them. The Lions could still get to the number 2 seed if all goes well. At worst, they're the number 3. But I think after the way the Lions lost last week to Dallas, they're going to be wanting their pound of flesh after what happened, and I think they get the win at home. Number 14, the Philadelphia Eagles at the New York Giants. Look, I'm taking the Eagles. Both teams are what they are. The Giants are looking to next season. The Eagles will be in the playoffs, but they are a clearly flawed team. They've been that way all year. Last year, they set a franchise record with 70 sacks. In their last 7 games, they have only 11. Crazy. Now, I do think Hassan Reddick has a chance for a big game going against Matt Pert, who will step in at right tackle with both Evan Neal and Tyree Phillips out of this game. So I think he's going to make a big impact. The Giants lost to the Eagles 2 weeks ago in a close one. I think this game will be pretty close as well, but the Eagles have beaten the Giants 5 straight times. I still say the Eagles are the Giants' daddies. I take Philadelphia. Number 13, the Denver Broncos at the Las Vegas Raiders. Both teams out of the running. Jarrett Stidham, meet Max Crosby. I know there's no Josh Jacobs for the Raiders in this game, but Antonio Pierce will have the Raiders plenty fired up at home to end the season well and maybe secure his job for next season. The Raiders have allowed a league-low 16.3 points per game under Pierce, and they actually ranked 22nd in points per game allowed through Week 8. So he has really helped to turn that team around. I give the Raiders the victory here. Number 12, the LA Rams at the San Francisco 49ers. Now, I have gone back and forth with this game a little bit. There are so many players not going to be in this game. Now, I know the Niners have everything clinched. They got the number 1 seed secured. The Rams do have a wild card spot. If they win, they guarantee the number 6 seed. If they lose, they could end up as the 7th seed. but really neither team has a lot to play for in this game. Now the quarterback match is going to be Carson Wentz against Sam Darnold. The Niners are benching Christian McCaffrey, but the Rams are benching Kyren Williams, Cooper Kupp, and Puka Nacua and Aaron Donald. So to me, the Niners are the deeper team. They're at home. I'm going to take them to win this game. All right, number 11, the Atlanta Falcons at the New Orleans Saints. The winner of this game will win the NFC South if the Tampa Bay Buccaneers lose to Carolina. Well, the Saints are home. I think Atlanta's just out of steam. They are alive for the playoffs, but they've lost 3 of their last 4 games, including a 20-point loss to the Bears last week. They lost to the 2-win Panthers in Week 15. And for the Saints, Derek Carr has quietly started to elevate his game a little bit in the last month. Saints have won 3 out of 4. I know Alvin Kamara might miss this game with an ankle sprain, but I'll still take the Saints D to cause enough havoc and give them the win in the Superdome. Number 10, I'm going with the Buffalo Bills at the Miami Dolphins. I am taking Buffalo. I want to talk about this game for a minute. With the AFC East title on the line, the Bills are winners of 4 straight games. But with Miami, they know they're going to get the 2 seed with a win or the 6 seed with a loss. I think Tyreek Hill may have to go superhuman in this game. No Bradley Chubb and likely no Raheem Mostert, Jalen Waddle, Xavier Howard. The Dolphins are 1-10 in their last 11 games against the Bills, and that's mostly because they cannot slow down Josh Allen. Allen has thrown at least 2 touchdown passes in each of his last 12 games against Miami. That is the longest streak by any quarterback against a single team in the history of the NFL. Wow. The Bills, and it's not just the passing game, the Bills are averaging over 130 yards per game on the ground, 7th in the league. The Dolphins played 3 teams this year that rank in the top 7 in rushing yards. They went 0-3 in those games, and they were outscored by an average of 45-18. All right, give me the Bills in that game to win on the road and clinch the AFC East Championship. Number 9, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the Carolina Panthers. Carolina will be at home. Let's hope that Carolina owner David Tepper stays away from windows. You know, Tampa Bay will clinch the division with a win. I think Rashad White and Mike Evans are going to tear it up. I mean, the Panthers couldn't even score against the Jacksonville defense. I still cannot believe Todd Bowles could be coaching a playoff game at home, but the Panthers, they're playing out the string. I don't think they have much left to give, so I say Tampa Bay wins the NFC South. Number 8, my New York Jets at the New England Patriots. We all know the deal. 15 straight losses against the evil empire. It may snow Sunday. I mean, that would be a nice sight. I do want to throw out one stat that not many people are talking about. Bill Belichick is 1 loss away from tying for the most regular season defeats by a head coach in NFL history. I would like to see the Jets give him that loss, but it's this simple to me. The Patriots have compete in them. I don't think the Jets do anymore. And even then, Breece Hall has a very tough very tough matchup against that run defense of New England, who ranks 2nd in the NFL. Number 7, the Houston Texans at the Indianapolis Colts this Saturday. These teams last faced off in Week 2, and wow, a lot has changed with them. You know, I think the Colts are one of the teams I've had the biggest issue getting a grasp on all year. It's winning in for both teams, but both are also alive for the AFC South. Boy, Gardner Minshew and C.J. Stroud facing off with a playoff spot on the line. What odds could you have gotten on that for the beginning of the season, right? But Minshew will be going against a Houston defense that surrendered the 7th most pass yards in the NFL this year. And he took advantage of that when the Colts beat the Texans. He completed over 80% of his passes. The Colts are 6-0 when Minshew does not throw an interception. And C.J. Stroud is only 2-4 on the road. But here's the thing with Stroud, and this is why I'm picking Houston in this game. Stroud is one of the best downfield passers in the game in terms of completion percentage, and the Colts allow 46% of passes over 20 yards to be completed. That's the 3rd worst in the league. The other reason I like Houston, they have a top 5 run defense that can contain Jonathan Taylor. Zach Moss, I don't think is going to play as of right now. I'm taking D'Amico Ryans and Houston to win this game. Number 6, the Jacksonville Jaguars at the Tennessee Titans. We stay in the AFC South. Now, if the Jaguars win, they secure the AFC South and a first-round game against Cleveland. If they lose, they could very well miss the playoffs entirely. The big question on everybody's mind is, will Trevor Lawrence play? Right now, it seems to be leading that way, but let's look at another angle with this game. Okay, the best way to beat the Jaguars is to pass the ball effectively. The Titans are not built to take advantage of that. Tennessee has 182 passing yards per game, 28th in the league, and it will be Ryan Tannehill at quarterback for this game. Will Levis will be out. On the other hand, my concern for the Jags is, since Week 13, they have allowed 123 rushing yards per game, 24th in the league. This could be Derrick Henry's last game as a Titan. And Tennessee has been pretty good at home this season. I don't think they even lost a home game until December. But I'm still taking Jacksonville. I still say that they're the best team in that division, and they barely win the AFC South. Number 5, the Chicago Bears at the Green Bay Packers. It's Justin Fields. It's Jordan Love. Very, very intriguing quarterback matchup. It is win and in for Green Bay. The Packers have won 9 straight against maybe their arch rivals, and I would say a lot of people would think picking against Green Bay at home in this spot would be crazy. But the Bears are one of the hottest teams in the NFL. They enter Sunday's game winning 4 of their last 5. They are seeking their first victory at Lambeau since 2015, but they've got an opportunity to terminate the Packers season. And they're going into that game with a rushing attack that averages 145 yards per game, second best in the league, and Green Bay's defense has been horrible at stopping the run this season. Okay, the Packers are 0-4 this year when they surrender over 155 yards in a game. The Bears can hit that. This is the type of game that can alter the path of both franchises in terms of, can we compete? Do we need to rebuild a little bit? I think this is going to be a fascinating game, but I'm taking the Bears in an upset to beat the Packers. All right, number 4, the Cleveland Browns at the Cincinnati Bengals. Browns are locked in at the 5 seed. Cincinnati is out. Cincy is 0-5 in the division this year, but Jeff Driscoll will be playing quarterback for Cleveland. Now, in his last 3 starts at home, Jake Browning for the Bengals has a 2-1 record. He's completing 72% of his passes, has a 103 passer rating. Now, T. Higgins will not play in this game, but he's already missed a good amount of time this year, and Cincinnati does a very good job of spreading out the ball. So even though Cleveland has a very good secondary, let's see if Emerson, if Newsome and those guys and Denzel Ward play as well. I think Cincy's going to take this game. I think this is going to be, they're just going to go out with a little bit of pride. Number 3, the Seattle Seahawks at the Arizona Cardinals. I'm taking Arizona in an upset, guys. Seattle has to win and have Green Bay lose to get a wild card berth. Arizona played Philadelphia really hard last week. An amazing, amazing victory. I think Seattle, this could be the worst run defense Seattle has had since Pete Carroll became the coach 14 years ago. Seattle cannot stop the run, and now the Cardinals, they have eclipsed 220 rushing yards or more in 2 of their last 3 games. James Conner's running like a man possessed. Kyler Murray's a great threat to beat you with his legs. The final week, there's always that upset. There's always that team that has something to play for and blows it. It happens every single year, and I say it's going to be Seattle. I'm giving Arizona the Duke in this game. Number 2, the Kansas City Chiefs at the LA Chargers of San Diego. This is just one of those games I want to avoid. If I could boycott a game this week, this would be it. Kansas City is locked into the 3 seed. To the 3 seed. To me, they need to be getting right. I don't think they should be resting players, at least not for the whole game, but they will. No Mahomes, no Rashee Rice, likely no Isaiah Pacheco, maybe no Travis Kelce. The Chargers have lost 7 of 8. It's just one of those games you want to avoid at all costs. I'm taking the Chiefs, but it's just one of those games I want to disavow myself from it if I can. And number 1 is the Pittsburgh Steelers at the Baltimore Ravens. When these 2 teams play, I don't care who's in uniform, it's always a toss-up. All right, this game will be on Saturday. The Ravens have the number 1 seed clinched. They will rest Lamar Jackson and play Tyler Huntley. Now, they have the bye week, and I will say this. For a team that had a legendary preseason win streak going, they know how to win meaningless games. Okay, Mason Rudolph will start for Pittsburgh, trying to win his third straight game. They need to win and have either Buffalo or Jacksonville lose. That's what Pittsburgh's looking at. And the Steelers have beaten the Ravens 3 straight times in Baltimore, winning those 3 games by a combined total of 10 points. But I don't know. The Steelers, to me, they're just not that team this year. You know, I think they've overachieved, but I think the Ravens are a good enough fundamental team to take the win. So I'm giving them the win with my number 1 pick. By the way, before we close out, this is the most fun possible scenario for the AFC. Okay, if Pittsburgh loses Saturday and Jacksonville loses early Sunday, it's going to come down to Denver versus Vegas at 425. Then if Denver wins, Pittsburgh wins, Jacksonville's out. If Vegas wins, Jacksonville is in the playoffs and Pittsburgh is out. So the amazing thing is Denver and Vegas are both out of the playoffs, but they control the playoff fate of both teams in their hands if Pittsburgh and Jacksonville both lose. So that is just something to watch for. That could be a lot of fun. Well, those are my confidence picks for the final week of the regular season. We'll be back here predicting the playoff games as well. But I'm curious to know what you think is going to happen here in Week 18. It should be crazy. Hopefully it'll be fun and it'll be dramatic and we'll have some great games. But thanks everybody for watching, and we'll see you right back here with more content from you know where. The Wicker Chair.